Get uncomfortable, so I'm now starting to get uncomfortable out there, but here I'm comfortable, so all of a sudden I've got all this range. Whereas this range is about that much there before I start to get like awkward, this straight line. As soon as I start stepping back, then it starts to get into that fall over stage. Back behind there is fantastic, like it's just really good. I can get beside the ball and things get really capable and really good. Straight across and back that way, you should definitely take on your back foot, so it'll increase the size of your power zone and you'll be able to actually strike the ball without any trouble at all. On this line, you can take front foot and there, and that'll open up all that area and allow the ball to get into your power zone much easier. It's Gary Peterson here. Today we're going to talk about your power zone, and now we've already spoken about the control zone being between shoulders and hips, where it's most comfortable to be able to strike a ball. But where do you get the most power in relation to your body? Where does power come from and how do you generate it and everything as well? So I teach generally that a concept where if you are doing a front foot drive, so I'll go at 45 degrees, which is what we generally talk to people about. If I'm doing a front foot drive through here, then my power zone will be from my front hip to my belly button. So if I can strike the ball there, which is generally just behind your front leg, which is what most people will tell you what you need to do. A lot of people get carried away with taking the ball out in front of their foot, and then what that does, it breaks their body when they strike. Okay, so this changes. It changes dramatically for a back foot shot. Dramatically, it changes a little bit for the back foot shot. Okay, so what happens is when I go in for a back foot forehand, which I love, fantastic, because my arm's on this side of the body, so why wouldn't I use my leg that's on that side of the body to strike the ball? So then your power zone becomes from your hip through to your belly button this way. So generally what happens is you've got a power zone, and that works out if you go back foot, it'll be between this hip and your belly button, and if you go front foot, it'll be between this hip and your belly button. So the ball can be too far out there, or it can be too far behind here, and it doesn't work for you, okay? So where it's gone from here, this one, because that's a front leg, to this one, that's your front leg. This then becomes the area. Now when we talk about power zone, what happens is instead of getting the ball early, you might have to wait for the ball to come in that area, or even better still, move to take an early ball within that area. So you then get the ball in that power zone, but you also get the ball to be taken early and take away your opponent's time. So I'll often be here and I'll wait so I can hit the ball in that zone. So I've got to wait sometimes for the ball. And now likewise, if the ball's really awkward, it's going to bounce on my feet. Here, I'll come back so the ball is in that zone, right between here and here. Now I coach a lot of people, and what happens, I see so many people that the ball's spraying out there and it's spraying over there, and in their rush to hit the ball really hard, they're just taking the ball way too early. Very rarely do people take it too late, but generally people will take it mostly too early. Okay, and so what happens is they end up spraying the ball back across court. That's this one here, where it comes back and hits them. Or they do sometimes take it ever so slightly a little bit late and might go into the side ball and come back and hit them. So that is another thing that does happen. It happens a bit. And it tends to happen less with the back foot. And there's a reason why the back foot there's less of it, and why it actually is a little bit more forgiving. What happens is with your front foot, it's more of a turn around the center of your body. You go around through here a lot with your front foot drive. So your body will turn around and you'll swing through there, and it's a little bit of a turning sort of a motion to get this hip in, to hit off this hip. So you generally will go one and then two, okay? Generally, not all the time. But that's what will happen. So you won't turn around your front leg. It doesn't happen like that. We get this hip in play, you'll turn this through there, and then that will come through and everything will be fantastic. But when you put this hip in, you're already off that hip with your swing, so you don't have to get that hip in play, it's already there. And your wrist can go down the floorboard more and more and more and more before I get it uncomfortable. So I'm now starting to get uncomfortable out there, but here I'm comfortable. So all of a sudden I've got all this range. Whereas here, it's sort of like here, there's this range is about that much there before I start to get like awkward and not comfortable. But this one here is a lot more forgiving, and you can make up a little bit with your wrist. So you can make up a little bit back here with your wrist, just a little bit, and throw out that way, and it seems to be just a bigger range of area that you can strike from. So it's got a fair bit going for it, this back foot, that really, really, really works. So it tends to increase your power zone just a little bit. So you'll find that the other thing that happens is with your step on your forehand drive, what happens if you step here? I know you can step back here, but it gets awkward once you go past this straight line. As soon as I start stepping back, then it starts to get into that fall over stage, and it gets really awkward. This one here obviously is no trouble, and there's no trouble forward, but anything behind it starts to get really awkward and really, really messy. Contrasting with the back foot, right foot. When I take a right foot forehand, if I go here, everything back behind there is fantastic. Like, it's just really good. I can get beside the ball and things get really capable and really, really good. If I go forward, it's a bit awkward, but generally even there will be okay, because that's not a bad situation to be in. As long as you push this back, here, there, you'll still have plenty there. And I actually teach back foot in the front forehand corner because it's really great for deception, and deception is the difference between just being okay and being fantastic. And so at the front, you can go there, and as long as you get beside the ball, you can push your wrist down the floorboard reasonably well, and your arm's on that side of the body, so you're just getting it closer. And if you really want to, you can even get enough out of flick with racket head speed. So it's just where the ball lands is the most important, not how hard you hit it. But anyway, so this foot here, it does a little bit more for you for your range of capability. So that's quite capable there, and that's extremely capable back there. So there's a really good rule of thumb if you're a general player. If I stand on this line, anything that goes straight across and back that way, you should definitely take on your back foot. So it'll increase the size of your power zone, and you'll be able to actually strike the ball without any trouble at all. Anything in front of this line, you can take front foot and there, and that'll open up all that area and allow the ball to get into your power zone much easier. It's just far easier, and it's a great way to go. Front foot's fantastic, and I teach front foot up there as well. So I teach any foot anywhere, but generally high level players, or high level players, I like to take them up to the back foot, up the front as well, just for perception, as I said. Balls up and understand completely where your power zone is in relation to your body, and I guarantee you'll be surprised at just how big an area that is that you can get the ball in, and don't rush into getting the ball too far in front of your body, because that's one of the biggest problems most people have.